Hi guys, my name is Vanara Scott and this is KillaKrane Productions. Anyone who knows me knows I love the show Family Matters. I remember every Friday in the late 80s and early 90s, I would rush home so I could watch this show on the ABC station on a segment called TGIF. I've watched every episode of this series. However, the last episode did not really do anything for me. In my opinion, it felt rushed. It didn't bring the series full circle for me. And it didn't answer any questions many had about a couple of the characters, such as, what happened to Judy? Why was she not seen or mentioned after her grandma's wedding? What happened to Aunt Rachael? Where was she gone all that time? And why did she suddenly show up at the end? Anyway, I've talked to a number of other fans of this show, and everybody seems to feel the exact same way. So I thought I'd make a fan fiction explanation of what I think happened to the characters mentioned before. Keep in mind, I do not own the rights to anything associated with Family Matters. This is just a personal derivative story arc. If the copyright owners of Family Matters are watching, please keep in mind, I am not making any money off of this series whatsoever, nor do I intend to make any money off of this. This is not a carbon copy likeness of the original source material. As you will see, the images of the characters are different, and the voiceovers that represent each character sound nothing like the original cast. Upon the request of the copyright owners of Family Matters, I will gladly remove this video and any future videos in this series. The copyright owners of Family Matters are more than welcome to use this story or parts of it in any story they would like to create in the future. Above all, please keep the fair use doctrine in mind. All right, guys, here it is.
A beautiful woman is jogging down the street. A guy pulls over in a civilian car, but has on a plain police uniform shirt with no badges or anything on it. He rolls down his window and starts to flirt with the young lady. Then the young lady recognizes him and smiles.
Hello there, Officer Winslow. To my knowledge, didn't you retire a few years back? Why are you still in your uniform?
The man in the car gives a flirtatious smirk to the young lady.
I still wear this uniform to get chicks. Also because it's the only clean thing I have right now.
Someone who does as much charity work as you do. You sure you have time for dating?
Well, for you, I can always make a quick session of public relations.
The woman rolls her eyes, leans in the car, and gives him a kiss. She then strokes his chin with her finger.
See you when you get home. And you forget, I do your laundry. So if you separate those clothes on the chair in our room, you'd see you have plenty to wear.
Such a good wife, Melissa.
I know, even though you turned me down for the Sadie Hawkins Day dance in high school.
Just like a woman. Can't never let anything go. I'll see you when you get home.
Melissa jogs off into the neighborhood. Eddie drives a little further down the street, and he parks his car in front of a home. He knocks on the door, and a familiar face opens the door.
Hello, I have a 3 o'clock appointment with Dr. Urkel.
The person Eddie is visiting is no other than Steve Urkel himself. Steve Urkel is no longer the awkward, goofy, nerdy person that we once knew. However, he's not Stefano Urkel either. He has a deeper voice, his posture has improved, and he has sort of a high-pitched voice, but it's not nasally like it used to be. He tells Eddie to come in. They talk for a good little while, and they reminisce on older things. Steve and Eddie both laugh and talk about how great things were. Eddie then lowers his gaze, then takes a deep breath.
So, how's Laura been doing?
Look,
This is ridiculous. Just because you guys have very different political views does not mean you guys still can't be brothers and sisters.
It's not that. Ever since she became this big shot lawyer, then judge, then talk show celebrity, she thinks she has the moral high ground when it comes to everything.
Steve drops his head down in sighs while shaking his head back and forth. He then looks up to Eddie and says,
I hear you. I respect how passionate you are about making changes in the world. But so is she. You guys have different ideals on how we should make this country better. However, you guys both still have passion to make things better. Which I think both of y'all inherited that from Mother Winslow.
Yeah. All Mother Winslow wanted was the best for all of us.
Yeah, and above all, she loved family and the ideas of family sticking together, even though they don't agree. And I'm sure she'd be very disappointed at how you and Laura are acting right now.
Eddie quickly tries to change the subject.
Yeah, Mother Winslow really loved you, Steve. Every time you caused damage to our home, Grandma was the only one who could calm my dad down, and was the reason why you were still allowed to continue to come to our home. By the way, you still owe us over $100,000 for the damage you did to our old home. But since you've done a lot of good for engineering stuff for NASA, I'll personally let it slide. However, you can be a lot richer than you are now if you would just go back to your inventions. What made you stop anyway?
I don't know. For some reason, just lost my passion for it. I don't know if it's me and Laura getting married, Myra's passing, or my devotion to my new career. But those wacky inventions just seem like something mankind wasn't ready for anyway.
Yeah, you're right. As long as you're happy. Speaking of Myra, I see you're still wearing the necklace she gave you and Laura as a wedding present. Most wives would have a problem with a man wearing jewelry from her ex-girlfriend.
Steve stands up, slowly takes the necklace from under his shirt, reads the inscription, then slowly puts the necklace back in his shirt. He smiles briefly, pondering at the inscription's meaning, and then tells Eddie.
It was actually Laura's idea. She says it symbolizes a person's ability to move on and the deep friendship that Laura and Myra had before she passed away.
So be honest with me, just between me and you. Did you ever have any romantic feelings about Myra after y'all two broke up?
Eddie, I love your sister with all of my heart and soul, and always has ever since kindergarten. However, Myra will always have a special place in my heart.
Speaking of things that has a special place in our hearts, did you ever get all of the things out of your old home? It's sad that they had to tear down the homes in our old neighborhood. However, nobody could have ever predicted the sinkholes that occurred underground.
That's very true. And yes, I got everything out. And speaking of which, I got some stuff I gotta show you.
Steve takes Eddie to the basement. Eddie sees things like Steve's old transformation chamber, his old lab jacket, and several other scientific pieces of technology. Eddie goes through one of the boxes and sees the uniform.
I didn't know you joined the military at some point.
Well, almost. Your little joyride with your girlfriend almost turned my life into a military career.
Eddie remembers the incident, rolls his eyes back and forth in embarrassment, and outwardly changes the subject again. Eddie walks over to a machine that is rectangular and about 4 feet tall and about 6 feet long.
What is this thing?
Steve pauses with a puzzled expression. Eddie looks at Steve. Steve looks like he's in a frozen trance. Eddie walks closer to Steve, leans over, and looks him in his face.
You all right there, buddy?
I don't know. For some reason, I remember it, but I don't.
Eddie goes behind the machine, grabs the cord attached, and plugs it into the wall.
Well, there's no time like right now to see what it does.
Steve's is reluctant at first, however his curiosity takes the best of him, so he allows Eddie to plug it in and it sputters for a little bit. Both of them look at each other and seem kind of disappointed. Eddie then goes to unplug the machine. The plug for some reason is kind of stuck in the wall, so Eddie uses a lot of strength and pulls it out. The cord flies out with what seems to be a stream of energy and hits Steve in the chest where Myra's necklace is. Myra's necklace starts to glow and then fizzes out. Eddie and Steve think nothing of it and they both go upstairs. As they go upstairs, the machine starts to sputter again and the voice can be heard from the machine in a whimpering voice.